Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to discuss about the bulk administration tool, and today I'll discuss about like how we can add the fonts in bulk via that bulk administration tool. Okay, so to start with that, let me log in on my CUCM first, and then we can start how we can add the fonts with the help of bulk administration tool. So I will start it from the scratch. What you need to do first, you need to like download the BAT files, then you need to convert it to a, I can say, text format, CSV1, upload it. So I'll discuss about all the things in this lecture. So first, what you need to do, you need to like log in on your publisher and go to this bulk administration tool. After going to this bulk administration tool, you can see on the first, there is an option for upload/download files. So this option is for the upload as well as download. So first, I need to download the BAT XLT tool. So that is, we can call it as a BAT extension tool. Okay, so first I will just click on this file. So I will be able to see that bat.xlt. So here you can see, just forgot about all those files. You need to check it about this one, bat.xlt. And here you can see it is saying bat xl csv tool. So I am going to download this one, bat.xlt, download. So once this Excel CSV tool is downloaded, we can like convert it. We can check the things what we need to configure for the particular user, or what are the things which are common. We will discuss about that as well. So let me first download this BAT 14, and then we can work on it. Okay, this file is getting downloaded now. Okay, so let me go to the folder where this file is downloaded. So let me search out. Okay, this one is the file which is downloaded. So let me just open this one. So you will be able to see this BAT 14. This is a BAT 14.0.1 version. So that means I am working on the CUCM 14 version. If you see BAT underscore 12.5, that would be like you are working on 12.5 version. Or if it is like 11.5 or something else, that it will show it up here. So as soon as I open this file, it says protected view. Let me enable editing. Okay, that is actually mandatory for any of the Excel file. So here, after enable editing, after clicking on that enable editing, it says Microsoft has blocked macros from running because the source of file is untrusted. Okay, so we need to enable the macro in this one. So let me just close this file and go back to my file, right click on it. I'll go to properties, and here you will be able to see under this general, here it says this file came from another computer and might be blocked to help protect this computer. So let me unblock this file, apply, okay, and then I'll open it again. Okay, let's see. Now it says enable content. So macro have been is disabled, but I'll enable it now. So now the macros has been enabled. Why am I saying macro? We need to enable the macros. So I'll let you know. So here you can see in the below, we can see different tabs: phone users, phones, user device profiles, users, update user. So everything is coming up on this BAT Excel tool. So in this today lecture, I am going to discuss about only the fonts, how we can add the fonts. So I'm just clicking it on the fonts so that you will be able to see the fonts option. Now, after clicking on this font option, you can see it's just showing like MAC address and the description. But there are so many more things as well which you need to add while if you are adding the fonts via bulk administration tool. Like it can be CSS, it can be partitions, it can be other things as well, which are not like which are not common. You can just add it with the help of BAT tool, right? Next thing I was saying, why I enable the macros. So here you can see it is saying create file format and export to BAT format. So if I do not enable that macros, this create file format option would not be clickable. It will just select this colon C row 1 just like this one. Now if I click on this one, it will open. It will open a new thing. It will open a new, I can say, window just like this one. If I click on this create file format, it is clickable now. But if the macros have been disabled, then it will not be a clickable, right? So right now I just clicked on this create file format, and here you can see under the field selection, it is showing device fields, line fields, and the intercom fields, right? So all these three things are coming up. So here in this device fields, you can see there are so many tabs which are on our device, right? As soon as like if you configure a new phone, the first page would be a device page, the next page would be a line page, right? So under this device page, you can see there are so many options which are already coming up. So I need to select few options, just like MAC address, device name, and the description. These are already coming up because it was there, right? So let's suppose I need to add something more like a CSS as well. That is device CSS. I need to add in my BAT tool. So I will just move it here. So let me scroll it down and we'll see which is like mandatory, not mandatory, but I want to add it actually. Okay, let's suppose there is a device pool option. I can go here, device pool can add. Then we can add, let's say, go down. And let's see, you wanted to enable something, let's say. Okay, owner user ID is here also. If you want to add the owner user ID, then you can add it from here also. So let me just move it to the right side. Okay, so I think that's all we need to do for this device, which can be, I can say, uh, the most important things, right? Now we are on the line fields page. Okay, so line field page. So if you are on a line field page, so first option that will be coming in your mind would be like a route partition, CSS, directory number, like these options should be there, right? So let's search it out for the line number. So let's just go down one by one. And here we can say directory number. Let me do it on the right side. Okay. Then if you want to check the forward all CSS, that is something else. Okay, let me just scroll it down. Let's say line CSS. That is also a mandatory thing. Not mandatory. I'm actually saying mandatory, but this is necessary. Line CSS. Then the thing would be, which is coming in our mind, would be route partition, right? So we can go route partition as well. Then sometimes voicemail profile also you needed, and other thing like I can say line text label. That is also was something which is useful. Line text label. Let me move it to this side as well. Okay. Then if you want to add something like external phone number mask, then you can add it here as well. So I scroll it down, E164, like say this one, line external call control profile. Okay, let's search it out. External phone number mask. Okay, this one. So I wanted to add the external phone number mask as well. That is what we call it as EPN. Let's go to the right. So this is for the intercom fields. So as of now, we are not using that. And I have selected all these things, MAC address, description, CSS, device pool, owner, and all these things as well here, right? So I'll click on create and it will create a file here. Okay, let me click on create. It is asking, do you wish to overwrite existing CSV format? I can say yes. And now it is actually doing something on the back end, and then it will show me all the things, right? So did I click on create and did it clicked? Okay, yes. Now it's created, as you can see, MAC address, description, CSS, device pool, owner user ID, all these things are coming up here. EPN, line text, voicemail. So here you can see both CSS are coming. This one is normal CSS. It is not saying any device or line, but the other CSS which you choose, that is showing line CSS, right? Device pool is coming, root partition is coming, voicemail profile is coming. So now this is created. So let me go to this one. Now this is created whatever I needed. Now I can export it to a BAT format, right? So I can go it like this. I can add dummy things here before adding these things. Okay, so you here you can see it is asking MAC address, description, CSS device pool. So here it is showing CSS. So you are gonna add the CSS here. You are gonna just write the CSS name, but that CSS or that root partition or that device pool should be on the CUCM. Only then it will get added. Because in this BAT, you are just writing down the things. But if CSS is not created on the CUCM, it will not add it for the particular phone. That should be created, like, right? So this CSS should be created, device pool should be there, honor user ID. So here it is showing optional, but that honor user ID should be created there, right? This honor user ID should be created on the user end user page. User should be there. Only then you will be able to add the honor user ID. Then directory number, line CSS, it is also again the CSS. And then root partitions, that is also you need to create. Voicemail profile, so you need to create the voicemail profile as well. Otherwise, you can use the default ones also. Okay, then line text label, you can add anything. Then EPN, that is external phone number mask. So let me do one thing. Let me just add a dummy one, and then I'll convert it to the export to BAT format. And maybe the question is in your mind would be like, these are the things which I am adding it, but what about the other things which are common, right? Like other options, like auto answer off, or uh, maybe you can say the font button template, key template, like all these things. What about these things? So for these things, I need to create a template for that particular phone type, right? So I need to create a template for that. So let's do one thing before exporting it to BAT format. Let me go to my CUCM, and there I'll show you how we can create the template, and then we can proceed further. Okay, so let me go to my CUCM. Okay, so for the template, you need to go to this bulk administration tool. We are doing it for phone. Then we can go to the fonts, font template. So first one is font template. Let me click on that. Okay, so here I'm just clicking it on add new. So once you click on this add new option, you need to choose the particular phone type. Okay, here you can see under the drop down font type, once I click on this drop down, you can see all the font types are coming, right? So let's say I'm gonna choose Cisco 7961 series, or maybe 7965. Let's say Cisco 7965 I'm choosing, and then click on next. You need to remember this thing. I am creating a template right now. So template would be for the device as well as for the line. So here it says Cisco 7965. It says select the device protocol. It can be like SSCP or SIP, depends whatever you are using. Let's say SSCP right now. Then click on next. Okay, once I choose next, here you can see it is saying template name, description, device pool, and all other things are coming up, right? It's just a normal device page. So whatever you choose it here and you are not choosing it on the BAT format, it will automatically take it because this is a template. So let's say I am saying template name would be test template. Okay, or I can say directly test template 7965. Okay, let me just choose the same for the description. So here device pool, you need to choose it because this is mandatory. Like DP1, DP2, and default, like these are the default would be the one, it would be there by default. DP1 and DP2 I created earlier. So let's say I'm gonna choose device default device pool here on the this template. So if I am choosing the device pool default here, and in the where I am exporting it to BAT format, if I do not choose any device pool there, then it will take the device pool. But if I choose the DP1, like these two device pools were created already, if I choose DP1, then that DP1 should be there for that particular phones. I'll show it to you once I'll do the exporting. Okay. Then you need to add the phone button template. So I know I'm using 7965. I'll go to the drop down and I'll choose standard 7965 SCCP. So here you can see standard 7965 SIP and SCCP is coming. I am choosing device protocol as SCCP. So I'm gonna choose standard 7965 SCCP. Okay. Common phone profile, it is already coming up. Location, I don't need to change it, it is coming. So all these things are coming up. So here it is saying on a user ID, you want to select it. So I don't want to select it right now. Okay. So here, if I scroll it down, if you want to change anything for this type of particular phones, you can do it, right? Like this, enable extension mobility. You want to enable extension mobility for all the phones you are adding, which are 7965 with the help of BAT tool. Then I can click on this enable extension mobility. So I hit this check sign that is blue. Now I don't need to change anything else. But yeah, if you want, you can, like, you want to disable speakerphone and headset, you can do that. And just like this one as well, web access. If you want to enable the web access for all the particular phones, for all the, I can say 7 and 65 series phones, which you are adding with the help of BAT tool, and you are gonna use this template, then the web access for all the phones should be enabled. Let me choose this one, enable. This is enabled, and let's just click on save now. Okay, it says device security profile is required, which we missed. So let's scroll it up, and here device security profile. I can choose 7 and 6 5 standard SCCP non-secure, and let's click on save now. Okay, so now my test template for the device page is showing created. Now it is saying this line 1, line 2, speed dials, all these things. This is for the line template. Let me click on this add a new directory number. Once I click on this add new, you will be able to see the directory number template name here. So this line template name. So I'm saying test line template 7965. Okay. So I need to choose a route partition here. For that, route partition should be created first before choosing it here, right? So as of now, it's saying none. But if I scroll it down, it is saying like these are created by default. So before adding this line template name, you need to add the root partition as well as CSS. So maybe you want to add the same CSS for all the phones which are in 7965. So you can choose the CSS and partitions here also. So let me go to the call routing. Let me add the partition and CSS. So let me open partition and let me open CSS as well side by side. So I'll go to the partition page. I'll create the partition first and then I'll create the CSS. So let me go to the partition. Okay, so let me add internal partition and let me add the local partition as well. Or I can add others as well, like an international also. Okay, so save. So in this way, three partitions are created: internal PT, local PT, and the international one. So I can go to the CS. Let me close the partition one. I can go to the CSS, add new, and now I can give this name as internal underscore CSS, right? So this is for internal CSS, then I will give the internal partition to this CSS. Okay. So that if I give this CSS to anyone, they will be able to make a calls only to the internal partitions, right? Let me add a new one also here. So internal CSS is added. Let me add local CSS now. Okay, so in the local CSS, I will add internal partition, this one, as well as local partition. So if I'm giving this local CSS to any of the phone, they will be able to make calls to the internal as well as local partitions, right? So I can give this thing. And next thing, let's say I'm gonna add the other one as well, international CSS, so that I can give international partition also, international CSS. Okay, and let me give internal, international, and local partition to this CSS. Okay, so now my CSS partitions both are created. Now I can simply go to that line template. So let me close the CSS. So here I can see. So once I click on this drop down, it is not showing up here because this page was showing earlier, right? And I created CSS and partition after this, after coming to this page. So let me just do this thing. Let me refresh this page and let's copy this line template. I'll go back to the device where I created the test template 7965, and then I'll come back to the DN. Let me click on add a new DN now. Okay, so here let me add the name which I created earlier, and I'll click outside. Okay, so now once I click on this root partition, it will show up here, right? Internal partition, international, and local. So I can choose the route partition here. I can choose the CSS here, and I can choose the same CSS and partitions in the BAT as well, in the BAT tool also. Okay, so as of now, I am choosing none in root partition as well as in the CSS. Why? Because I will create three fonts. I'll create three fonts mainly, right? I'll create three fonts mainly for the internal, for the local, and for the international, right? I'll create three fonts and then I will give different root partition and different CSS, right? So I can go to this. I can just leave this root partition. I can go to alerting name or SKY alerting name. Maybe I can just put test phone name, or you can even leave it as well, so that you can give the alerting name and the SKY alerting name in the proper BAT format, right? You can leave it here as well. So let's do one thing. Let's just add alerting and SKY. And now voicemail profile, if I drop down here, it is showing default and no voicemail. So these two are already created. That is by default. If you choose it here, it will automatically coming up for all the lines, for all the line template, I can say, for all the fonts actually which you are going to create. If I choose it here, if I choose none and I choose default or the no voicemail in the BAT, then it will also come up. So I'm just leaving it as default none. Okay. Then here I can say forward no internal, forward no answer internal, external, and then registered. I'll choose this one so that it will choose the same for all the extensions, which I will add. If you want to add the line text label or EPN, if the EPN is common, you can add it under the line template. If this is not common, then you can add it on the particular fonts itself, right? If this EPN is not common. As of now, I am just leaving it as blank because I know I have this option on the BAT tool. I have this option as well on the BAT tool. Okay, so now I can go to down and save it. Okay, so now my line template is created, my device template is created, right? So now I will go back to my BAT tool and then I will see, okay, I'm back on my tool. I can add the things here and then I can export it to the BAT format. So here, let me go to this like MAC address. I'm gonna add this one. Okay, one MAC address. If you want to give description, let's say I'm giving description test one. CSS, okay. So I know I have created internal CSS. So I am giving this internal CSS to the device page of CSS. Okay, here you can see the line CSS as well. Let's suppose I am giving the same internal CSS on the line page. Device pool, it is saying, okay, device pool. I have device pool default, DP1 and DP2. On the template, I choose default, but here I say I want this person to be in DP1 on a user ID. Okay, so on a user ID is coming, but I have not created any user ID right now. Okay, So I can just leave it as blank. It says optional, I can leave it as blank. Directory number 1. So let's suppose I'm giving directory number as 1000. Root partition, I know I have created internal, local, so I can give internal partition. Then it says voicemail profile. We have default one and the no voicemail as well. So I can just put default as well as I can just leave it as blank because this is optional. Line text label 1, I'm just giving the same, which is an extension or the directory number. External phone number mask. Let's say I'll give +1 408 555 and then XXXX. This is for the first one. Okay. Then let's say I am adding a new one. A, B, C, D, E. Then I'll say double one. This would be test 2. This would I can give local CSS. This one I'll say I'm giving DP2. Okay, on a user ID blank. Directory number 1001. This would be same I'm giving local. This would be same I'm giving local PT. This would again I can say default line text table 1001. This one would be +1 408 555 and XXXX. This would be external phone number mask. Okay, let's suppose I'm just reading these two. Okay, so I have added this one. Now I will go to the click on this export to BAT format. Okay, it says once I click on this export to BAT format, it says enter file path here, and this one is coming up. Okay, so I'm saying it is ending with 037 something, and I'll click on OK. So it says data successfully exported. 037 is the last. So let me, instead of going to that, now this one was the text file, but I want to convert it to the CSV Excel format. Okay, so what I'm going to do, maybe I'll just open the new Excel file. So I can go to the file, click on open. Here I'll go to browse where this file was added. So I'll go to my C drive where it shows it was created. Under the C drive, it will be under XLS data files, this one. Okay, so it says no items match your search. Why? Because here it is mentioned all Excel files. That is not an Excel file, that is a text one. So I'll click on this drop down, go to the all files. So now this one was my file, which says 20 ending with 037. And here even also you can see it says line CSS, which I create this one, sorry, internal CSS, DP1 and DP2, right? So I can click on open. So once you click on open, it says it is open text import wizard because I am opening it under the Excel, but that was a text file. So I am gonna choose delimited, okay, because it says characters such as commas or tabs separate each field. So I'll go to the next. Then it says what would be the delimiter. I'm choosing comma, okay, because everything is coming up with the comma. And then I'll go to next, general and finish. So here you can see this file is open with the new Excel file now. So here you can see MAC address description, CSS, everything is coming up here. Now here I didn't choose this on a user ID, right? So I can do one thing here, even I can just leave it as same, or I can just remove this column from here also, like this one. I can remove the whole column like this one. I deleted it because now this is my Excel file, right? Device pool, CSS, description, MAC address, everything is coming up here, right? So let me just save this file. Let's say save as. I can browse it, choose the folder, like I'm gonna choose my desktop, and I'll say test bat for this one 7965, and I'm choosing this CSV UTF, that is CSV file, that is comma delimited, and I'll save it. So it says some features in your workbook might be lost if you have CSV. Do you want to keep using? Yes, I want to use that format. Okay, so now my file is created, right? So now I'll go to my CUCM and I'll upload that file. I'll go to bulk administration, click on this upload download files. Okay, so here I need to upload the file which I created. I'll go to add new. Okay, here it says choose the file. Let me choose the file which I created as a CSV. I saved it on the desktop, so I'll click it on desktop, and this one was the one, test batch 7965. Let's open it. It says select the target. So I'm using it for phones. So I'll choose phones, transaction type. So I am adding few details, or I can say specific details. Then I'll choose insert phones, specific details, and save it. Now I have added test one, test two. I have saved the file. I have uploaded the file. And now here comes the next part, the best part I can say. Go to again bulk administration, go to the fonts, and then here you can see it says insert fonts. Right, so I'll click on this insert fonts. Okay, once I click on this one, it says insert fonts, specific details. I'll choose the file name. So my file name is testbat7965 CSV, this one. So once you choose this one, even you can see whether you have chosen the right file or not. I click on view file, and here you will be able to see the one which you added, like this one, this MAC address I have added, test1, internal, dp1, everything. So let's close this one. Go to the font template name. So here comes the part. That is the template which you created, right? Which I created actually. So I have created it for the 7965. So it will show up here. So here you can see these are the previous one, 7961, script template, CIPC, everything is coming up. But whatever the file I created, that the name was test template 7965, and I created for 7965. That is what it is coming up. So I'll choose this one. Now I'll say run immediately and then submit. So once you submit this one, it says request submitted. Use the job scheduler to see the status. Job scheduler, it will be under bulk administration, job scheduler. So here you need to check and click on find. You need to check your job. Like it will be coming at the end. If other jobs are also running, then it will be coming at the end. So here it says at the end, it says completed admin insert fonts specific details, and it says sequence. Okay, so this one is the last because the rows per page would be 100. So date is coming. So I'll open this one. As it is showing completed now. So if it throws some error, then it will also show you the errors as well. Why it not created the fonts. So here it says number of records processed 2, records fail 0, total number of records 2. That means it's a success also. Success, and even you can go to this file name and can see it says no error found. So that means whatever I added on that BAT XL tool, it should show created. So I'll go to the device, I'll go to the phone. Okay, I'll click on find. So it should show two MAC addresses with a 7965 phone type. Okay, so here you can see these one was the 7965, the previous ones. Here I have added this 7965, and here are my test one and test two. It is showing DP1 and DP2. These are SSCP phones. So let's open a new one. Let's open any one and we'll see whatever I added, it is showing up. Okay, I have just opened this 7965. So now it should show the line number as well, which I have added. So for the test one, I believe I have added 1000 as a number, right? So here you can see under the device pool, it was saying DP1 description, test one is showing. Even so, you remember under the template, I have added enable extension mobility. So here you can see I didn't add owner, so it is automatically coming up to the anonymous. So let's see, enable extension mobility is coming up. So here you can see enable extension mobility is checked because I have checked this one on the template. And on the line page, it is showing the number that is 1000. That is an internal partition. Also, it is showing up there. Okay. So this is 100 internal partition. Alerting name is coming up. Voicemail profile, CSS, which I have added. And this one I added on the extension BAT tool. And this one I have added on the template, right? And line text label is coming up. EPN, that is external phone number mask, which I added, it is also coming up, right? So that means everything which I added on the BAT tool, it is coming up here now. So this completed the lesson for how to add the phones in bulk via bulk administration tool. So in the next lecture, I'm going to discuss about how we can add the users. We will discuss about the user template, insert users as well. Then I will discuss about both phones and users in one go, how we can add the phones and users with the one BAT tool, right? So I'll discuss about the phones and users as well. And then in the upcoming lecture, I will discuss about how we can update if you want to update the voicemail profile, let's say for 50 phones or for 10 phones or for 15 phones in one go, how you can do it with the help of bulk administration tool directly, right? So in the upcoming lectures, I will discuss about all those things. So I hope you learned something from this lecture right now, right? So if you really like it, then please, please, please do like, share, and subscribe it. And please press the bell icon as well so that you will hear the notifications of all my upcoming videos. Thank you.